One question you guys have been asking me a lot lately is why are there so many Borises in the game? Now I'm sure a whole bunch of prodigies out there just rolled their eyes back into their head and said, ProdCharles, what the heck are you even talking about in this video? Obviously, there are heaps of Borises because Alice Angel wanted to take their hearts and make herself perfect. And yes, that is one reason for why there are so many dead Borises around there, but why were they actually there in the first place? That is an interesting question because we don't see heaps of Bendys running around, we don't see heaps of Alice Angels running around. Wouldn't a whole bunch of Alice Angels be better anyway, because then she'd be able to make herself more perfect in a more intuitive way? So the question, why are there so many Borises in Bendy chapter 3, is actually something that deserves to be answered. Now, if you've seen my previous Alice Angel theories, which I'll link in the description if you're interested in looking more into, you will know that I think that everything that's happening so far is Alice Angel preparing a second ink machine, or maybe it's the first ink machine. Whatever ink machine that we can see in chapter 3 is something that Alice Angel is preparing. And if it's not an ink machine, she's definitely preparing machines, but all the evidence points towards an ink machine. She says that she has to feed her machines. The items that we have to collect for her are items that we can see on the blueprints for the ink machine, and she also resides in a part of the studio where there are heaps of items that you can prepare tons of rituals with. The only problem is Ink Bendy roams around the entire studio, so she needs a lackey, also known as Henry or us, to do things for her. And this is a really key piece of information. If she's trying to prepare an ink machine, it means that she's using the ink machine to create cartoons. And in my theory on what are Alice's plans, I tell you guys that she wants to get this ink machine to create new cartoons. I think that is her plan here. So there could be tons of Borises because she's turning on an ink machine and creating a whole bunch of cartoons. And with these cartoons, well, of course they're not going to stick around for her to kill them. They're going to run away and she's going to harvest them, especially if they are perfect. That is her goal, harvest the hearts of perfect cartoons to become perfect herself. But here's the thing, and this is why I'm not making a theory video about this, I'm making more of a discussion video about it, because there's not much information that we can confirm off as to why there are so many cartoons in the first place, and also as to why there's only one Alice Angel so far and why there's only one Bendy so far. What I think is that when you power on the ink machine, you get a certain chance of getting something out of the ink machine. There's a certain chance that you'll get a cartoon, there's a certain chance that you'll get an inanimate object, there's a certain chance that you'll just get something. And yes, I do believe that you will get some kind of inanimate object out of the ink machine, because when you take the demon path in Bendy chapter 3, you can see that in Joey Drew's recording room, there are a whole bunch of ink inanimate objects such as chairs, and I believe there's also a cabinet in there, and it's just dripping with ink. There is something magical about the process of using the ink machine to create things, even inanimate objects. So that being said, even within the pool of cartoons that you can create, there is a certain chance that there is a certain cartoon that can be made. Now obviously, because we're only up to chapter 3 so far, we can't really tell what the chances of getting each cartoon is. However, we can tell that it is more likely that a Boris or Butcher Gang member can be made using the rituals that powers on the ink machine. And if it's not randomly generated, then another reason could be that Alice Angel, first of all, doesn't want to create more Bendys. She already has one Bendy to deal with and hates the dude. And she doesn't want another Alice Angel because why the heck would she want to compete with another Alice Angel? She herself wants to become perfect. What if she accidentally tries to create an Alice Angel that is perfect and it overshadows her? That would be a nightmare for her. So the safest option would be to create Borises and Butcher Gang members. Apparently they don't have that much power behind them except in their power of hiding from her, probably not as successfully as they would hope, but they're generally not strong or smart enough to completely escape her grasp. That being said, we may need to adjust the worker transformation theory a bit, because if we don't need workers to create cartoons, then there's really no point in that theory. However, perhaps the reason behind a certain cartoon's perfection, because she does say that the Boris that we have as Henry is the most perfect Boris that she's ever seen, it might be the fact that that Boris was made out of a worker that made it perfect. At the same time, if Alice Angel is truly made out of Susie Campbell or Alison Pendle or both of them, and Bendy is actually Joey Drew, that could be points against the theory, unless again there's something to do with the emotional states of the workers, how much passion they had behind each of their characters, what their true motives were in corrupting the ritual, and bits and pieces of these factors could actually corrupt the ritual and then thus corrupt their final form. We saw that Susie became became envious of Alison Pendle, and she almost kind of wanted revenge against Joey Drew, so that might have corrupted her ritual. And then we have Joey Drew, who's just blinded by success and getting his dreams to come true, going so far as to slave driving his workers into a deep depression. For more information on the worker transformation, check out this theory on Is Joey Drew Bendy? Or check out these videos that were picked just for you. If you're new, remember to subscribe and tap that bell for more Bendy theories that actually make sense. And Prodigies, I hope these theories help expand on how you think. See ya!